ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। तदन्देवासि वर्यञ्च जीवोद्धारणतत्परम् श्रीजयेन्द्रगुरुं पूज्यं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। चतुर्दशवयप्राप्तं सन्न्यासं सुमहामतिम् नमामि शङ्करारम्भं शिवजेन्द्र सरस्वतीं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। स्वस्ति वाचनम्। ओम श्री कांची कामकोटि पीठाधिपति जगद्गुरु श्री शंकराचार्य श्री चरणयोः श्री प्रणामाः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री महात्रिपुर सुंदरी समेत श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वराय नमः। स्वस्ति श्रीमदखिल भूमंडलालंकार त्रयस्त्रिंशत्कोटि देवता सेवित श्री कामाक्षी देवी सनाथ श्रीमदेकाम्रनाथ श्री महादेवी सनाथ श्री हस्तिगिरिनाथ साक्षात्कार परमाधिष्ठान सत्यव्रत नामांकित कांची दिव्य क्षेत्रे शारदा मठ सुस्थितानाम् अतुलित सुदारस माधुर्य कमलासन कामिनी धम्मिल्ल संपुल्ल मल्लिका मालिका निश्चंद मकरंद झरे सौवस्तिक वाग्निकुंभ विजृंभणानंद दुंदिलित मणेषि मंडलानाम् अनवरदाद्वैत विद्या विनोद रसिकानाम् निरंतरालंकृतीकृत शांतिदान्ति भूम्नाम् सकल भुवन चक्र प्रतिष्ठापक श्री चक्र प्रतिष्ठा विख्यात यशोलंकृतानाम् निखिल पाषंड षंड कंटकोत्पादनेन विशदीकृत वेद वेदांत मार्ग षण्मद प्रतिष्ठापकाचार्याणाम् श्रीमत्परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य श्री जगद्गुरु श्रीमच्छंकर भगवत्पादाचार्याणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमच्चन्द्रशेखरेन्द्र संयमीन सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अधिष्ठाने सिंहासनाभिषिक्त श्रीमज्जयेन्द्र सरस्वती संयमीन्द्राणाम् अन्तेवासिवर्य श्रीमच्छंकर विजयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्रीपादानां च चरणनयनयोः सप्रच्छयं शान्तिर्बद्धं च नमस्कुर्मः। हरि ओम्। Kanchi Kamakoti Seva Foundation, Midwest Chapter, welcomes all the devotees who are assembled on our live stream, YouTube and Facebook for this month's Kamakoti Parayana Mandali program. On this, we welcome you all on this very auspicious Bhadrapada Puratasi Purnami Guruvaram. So for this month, we will be continuing with part 2 of Bhaja Govindam. As you all remember, last month, Srimati Maragadam Maniji started with Adi Sankara's Bhaja Govindam lecture discourse, and she will be continuing from verse 14 today. Brief introduction on Srimati Maragadam Maniji. She hails from a Vedic family. She has a master's in Sanskritam and has been teaching Sanskritam for a number of years, currently in Chicago area and also previously in Washington, D.C. She's well versed in Carnatic music and Natya Shastram. She also teaches music, bhajans, and slokams for students in the Chicagoland area. So it's very honored and we blessed for us to hear the talk from Sri Maragadam Maniji on Bhaja Govindam. Hari Om.
नमस्ते सर्वेभ्यः धन्यास्मि इदानीम् अद्य भाद्रपद पौर्णमी मासे अहं स्मारणं करोमि कर्पगाम्बाळ कपाली आलये निरैमणि इति निरैपणि निरैमणि इति उत्सवं प्रचलिष्यति तत्र आलय आलयं the entire temple would be decorated with all fruits and vegetables and also some sweets and all as a kritagnyata, showing to Devi and Bhagavan that We are grateful to whatever you give. So that's an auspicious function. Every Purnima, with regards to any temple, Shiva temple, Vaishnava temple, any Purnima is very important. Every Purnima has a significance. Of course, Ashwina, like Aipasi Paurami will be Annabhishekam, as you all know. Kartika Purnima will be Kartika Deepam. Margadi Purnima will be almost the Arudra Darshanam. So every Purnima has a significance in our Hindu calendar. So we are here to continue with the Chaturdasha Manjarika. After the disciples, Swami had about 21 main disciples, I believe, Bhagavad Pada. So some of them have contributed to extend this Bhaja Govindam with their own slokas, whatever they came up. So we will start with the first one, written by the great Padmapada, a great Upasaka of Narasimhamurti. So he brings his idea to complement his guru's work, because he did only 12 slokas. The Sishyas felt that this has to be expanded or given more to the people who are interested in learning this. So that's why these slokas, they came up to them. So it was composed by the Padmapada. Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha kashayambara bahu krita veshaha pashyan napi inacha pashyati mudo hi udaranimittam bahu krita veshaha. This udaranimittam bahu krita veshaha is a very famous quote, oft-quoted word, or a lokokti, we can say, like a proverb. So pashyan napi na pashyan. So let's go with Padmapada. Padmapada was one of the very important disciple of Bhagavad Pada, and then he has written a couple of great works, like what we call the Shruti Sagara Samudharanam. Shruti Sagara Samudharanam is referred to him. So some of their works are known to us, but some of them are not really available. So anyhow, we will go with the sloka meaning. The world is full of sannyasis who are roaming around, but how many of them are really having an internal transformation to become a sannyasi? Even after becoming a sannyasi, they say that we are away from our home and all those things. Still, they are running after the value of money, name, or fame. So there is no internal transformation. So they have jatilaha. Jatilaha means like matted locks, like what we call like a Shiva's hair. And some of them are mundi, like completely clean shaven heads. And lunchita keshaha. In some religion, they have to pluck their hairs out to show that they are completely detached. That vairagya should be there. Every hair should be plucked out, like Jainism, especially. Lunchita keshaha, they have to pluck their hair, and they have to show that they do not have that, what we call, like raga advesha. And then, because it's a sharira pidanam, what is given to sharira pidanam, it is considered as a tapas. It becomes a tapas. And then kashayam baraha, and they will wear the orange robe. And then, or bahukrita vesham, or they can choose their own colors to, now you can see different colors, like all the multicolors. Every group has their own color to show that they belong to this group. So Padmapada wrote it long time back, saying that even this will come. Not only the kashayambara, the other colors will also be there. And then some of them wear white robes, and some of them do not wear anything. Digambaras, like some Jains are Digambaras. The famous Gomateshwara in the Shravana Belgola, he is a Digambara too. Following his path, they are Digambaras. And then Pashyan napi na pashyati. That's what Padmapada wants to say. Okay, they all do something for their livelihood, doing all these things. And seeing the unreliability of this world and the experiences what we get from this world, they they are seeing it, but they don't want to acknowledge or recognize that they are going through these problems. Okay. So they do not want to. Pashyannapi na pashyati. That's a very the funny way of telling. It's like a satire. Right? They see the world and the sufferings in the world, but they don't want to acknowledge or they don't want to recognize that. They don't want. They do not recognize. They will not recognize also. So after all, Mudaha, that foolish person, what does he do is Udara nimittam bahukrita veshaha. Just to show the society they are also detached from this world and they are not attached to anything. Okay. Just to get respect and also good bhiksha. Okay. Good bhiksha. And so they will try to do all these things bahukrita veshaha, just for filling their stomach. They have to put on so many vesha. Vesha means like different kinds of attires to show that they all go to the Bhagavan. But some of them are able to cheat the society, outwit the society, saying that we are all very true devotees of Bhagavan. But they cannot cheat Bhagavan himself. So he says we have to be warned by some of them. We have to know who is the right person and how do they believe. Still, if they run behind the money and fame and name and fame and their presence everywhere to be recognized by everyone, those things, will not work with the world. So the world is not going to acknowledge them as the real gurus. So Jatilo Mundi Lunchita Keshaha Kashayambara Bahukrita Veshaha Pashyannapi na pashyati Mudohi Udara Nimittam Bahukrita Veshaha. That was composed by Padmapada. The next sloka is again by our great Todakacharya, who composed the Todakashtakam and the Todaka Vrittam. And then he comes up. Of course, there is a work, Shruti Sara Samudharanam. That's a work attributed to Todakacharya. And then he also says, external transformation is easier. Okay. But the internal transformation is not that easy. That is the main thing, what he wants to say. Okay. And then he says, when we grow in our age is inevitable, Jara is inevitable, Marana is inevitable, the body shrinking is inevitable. Everybody has to go through that. Okay. That's what is it. Angam, Galitam, Palitam, Mundam, Dashana Vihinam, Jatam, Tundam, Vriddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi na munchati asha pindam. Okay. So the fight again, he also has a satire way of attacking people. Vriddha yati, an old man goes with his dandam because his legs have given up. He cannot walk the right way or with the full strength in the leg. So he had to hold the third leg, which is the dandam. And then he walks with that, but tadapi, even then, munchati asha pindam. Okay, he does not give up on the desires. Asha here refers to the hopes and desires. Na munchati, he is not willing to give up. And what are the other things which are happening in his angam galita? Okay, the body has started shrinking. Palitam, the hair has grown grey. Okay, Mundam, and some of them have lost their hair completely. Dashana Vihima, even the teeth have fallen. Jatam Tundam, the mouth is completely bereft of the teeth, which is supposed to be giving more strength for us to talk. Okay. Even then, he does not, and he is holding the dandam also to walk in his way. But there is no giving up. There is still that raga is attachment. Okay, so attachment is still sitting there in him, even though he is holding on to the dandam, and then he does not know when he is going to fall. But still, the man has the angam galitam, the body started shaking. It is not in the same way that collagen, everything is gone. vitamin E, everything is gone. Nothing is there to hold on to his bones. Palitam, the hair has gone grey, or some of them have bald head. Mundam, without teeth in the mouth, holding a dandam in his hand still. Na munchati asha pindam. He does not give up on his, what we call, the hopes and desires of. So there are three supports which are given to us by our dharma. One is Guru, the second one is Shastra, the third one is Ishvara. So we can call this the person who holds on to these three things. They are called Tridandis. Tridandi mean the three dandas. Three dandas are Guru, Shastra, and Bhagavan, Ishvara. Okay, these three have to be held tight so that nobody can stop us from going towards the moksha. Angam Kalitam, that is. So why is he saying Bhaja Govindam? That has to be supplied to us by us in all the slokas. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. The Govinda Nama is very important. So the same I told you in the last talk also, like Papanasam Shivana has written, Nadayadu Talara, Deha Mudunga, Navadu Purara, Kangal Mayanga, Yenna Saivai. Like when all these things happen, who is going to come and protect you? You may have two nurses, three nurses for every 8 hours. But how are they going to help you? How are they going to take you to the right path? They might take you to take a bath or make you eat or something like that, but they cannot show you the right path. So, Bhaja Govindam is stressed in every sloka. Even though the disciples wrote, they also go in alliance with their Mahaguru Adi Sankaracharya, saying that what our Guru said, Bhaja Govindam, that is very true, but these are all going to happen. And if we still did not think of doing the Nama Japam or anything, this is going to happen. So that is the next sloka number 15, according to this. Then comes the great Hasta Malaka. The word itself is Hasta Amalaka. In Tamil, we say Ullangai Nellikkani. When you keep a gooseberry on your palm, it is very visible. Nobody can say it's not there. So Hasta Malaka means he is very, very clear. And he wrote a great book called Hasta Malakiyam, 12 verses about the Vedanta Saram. Amalakam in the hand means the truth. He knew the truth very well. Okay. So even Shankaracharya has written a commentary on this book of Hasta Malakiyam. So that is how it is. The tradition goes in that way. And then what he says is like all the people in the world may not get a chance to meet any guru. Okay, that's why Bhagavan teaches another method that you have to learn through your experiences, whether it is pleasure or pain. Those are your teachers. Okay, those are your teachers, and if you are holding on to the things which are going to be lost in the world, that is not going to help you in any way. So this sloka, like he says that you have to understand Agre Vannihi Prishto Bhanuhu Ratrau Chubuka Samarpita Janu Karatala Bhikshas Tarutala Vasas Tadapina Munchati Asha Pasha. There is another a person. Okay, he says now the dress code is different, and they have the no shika, no colors, no kashaya vastram, no rudraksha. These are all not necessary at all. As long as you have the internal transformation, you can be in any ashrama. You can be in grihastha ashrama or vanaprastha ashrama or brahmacharya ashrama. As long as there is internal transformation, these outward things are not necessary. So he says, like, Agre Vannihi, in the front of him, because it was the winter season in the Varanasi area, and Bhagavan Adi Sankara was walking and he saw the person. Agre Vannihi. Okay, the sun, the fire is in front of him. He has a small fire to keep himself warm. And then the sun is at the back. Okay, sun rise is happening, so it is a. But he is Chubuka, Ratro, that is even though these are all here, he sits in the dark night, curls up the body. The Chubuka means the chin is it's attached to the knee. The chin is attached to the knee, and then he is Karatala Bhiksha. There is no vessel also belonging to him because he does not have any attachment. Okay, so he takes his bhiksha only in his Karatala, and then what is his place of living? Tarutala Vasa. He lives at the foot of a tree, with all the branches out. At the foot of the tree, he takes rest, and he is away from harsh sunlight, or even when it is cold, he can just sit there only, and then he is. The problem is the last one, Tadapi Namunchati Asha Pashana, but still he is like a dancing like a puppet in the hands of the desires. He is because there is no internal transformation. Outwardly, he has left everything. He does not want to possess even a small vessel to take a bhiksha, and he does not want to have a roof above his head. He just wanted to sit at the foot of the tree, but he still has Asha Pashaha Namunchati. He is still in his old memory and not matured enough to become a sannyas. Okay. So, what Hastamalaka wants to convey is you have to be truthful to yourself. The Mityachara, the bogus way of living, Achara, is not at all necessary to please someone. Okay, so that is how Hastamalaka's sloka, Agre Vannihi Krishte Bhanuhu, Ratrau Chubuka. Chubuka is the chin touching the Janu, he is sitting, curling himself in that winter night. And Karatala Bhikshaha, Tarutala Vasaha, Tadapina Munchati Asha Pasha. That is his real, his feeling. He feels for such a person who does not still understand, who is still under the clutches of these desires. That is devoted to Hastamala. Then there's a disciple's name is Subhoda. Only the name is known to us, not much of information about this disciple of Bhagavan Adi Sankara. So he says, Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Brata Paripalanam Athava Danam Jnana Vihinaha Sarvamatena Muktim na Bhajati Janmashate. Okay. Yes, we are given this Manusha Shariram, that's a big luck. Okay, like what Abhaya said, Aridu Manidarai Pirathal Aridu. Because that is the great gift what is given, bestowed upon us to be born as a human being. They are also Kun Kurudu, there is no Angahinam, that's a plus point. If you are able to remember the sloka, namam, everything, that's a plus point. So we can have plus points being a human being. Okay, he says, what we do is, one may go to Ganga Snanam, Ganga Sagara Gaman, okay, where Ganga meets the what we call the ocean, because Ganga Mata drains into Bay of Bengal. So where he can go and take bath in the Ganga. And then also Brata Paripalana, he can observe as many fasts as he can. He can take fast almost the whole of the month. And there are people who still observe Chaturmasya, especially the Gujaratis and Punjabis. They still observe Chaturmasya. They also they do not eat grains, no fruits for 1 month, no vegetables for 1 month, no dairy products for 1 month. So they also observe such a thing. So what does observe? And then he will be ready to give his riches in charity. Okay. So the charity will bring him happiness because he shares his belonging with someone else. But he says, but Subodha says, Sarva Matera Mukti Jnana Vihinaha na Bhajati. A person whose without the jnana, without the knowledge. Why should he do this? What will he get? How will he get the mukti? By doing all these things, will he get mukti? Yes, maybe. It will move him towards one step or two steps or three steps towards mukti. But that will not give him the mukti. It will not give the mukti. Even if he takes 100 birds, even if he takes, okay, the mukti cannot be given to him because he still wants to show that he can do the Ganga Snanam and then observe fast and then he can do the Dhanam, everything. That's all, but he does not have the right knowledge of understanding Bhagavan. If that is not there, mukti is not possible even at the end of 100 years. So, when we think about the basic principle according to Swamiji's talk, Swami Paramarthanandaji's talk, there are 5 basic principles of Vedantic teaching. Okay. We can talk about the permanently lasting peace, happiness, security is only possible through moksha. And moksha is possible only through spiritual knowledge. And spiritual knowledge is possible with the systematic education from the guru, from a competent guru. Okay. And the systematic spiritual education only will make a mind as a prepared mind or the matured mind. And through this prepared mind only, we can accomplish different spiritual exercises, which is possible. So, all the other things, what Subodha has mentioned, Gangastranam, yes, that all will help. Japa, Ishvara, Dhyanam, Pranayamam, pilgrimage, everything is important, okay, to make you move one step ahead. That is a thing. That's what is warranted in this. Of course, I always say, at this juncture, I want to quote Upper Swamihan, who says, not only this Manusha Janma, even if I'm born as a worm, please make me remember your name. Kuduvai Pirakkinam Punniya, Unnadi Yen Manatte Valuvadirukka Varam Tara Vendum. Okay, so that is what is needed. There is no need that we have to be born as human alone, but human birth is commendable one which is bestowed upon us by the great Karuna Murti Bhagavan. So we have to make the best use of that. That is what is mentioned in this Subodha's verse. And then our Vartikakara, Sureshwara, the Mandana Mishra turned into Sureshwara. Many commentaries have been attributed to him, to Sureshwara. About 12,000 verses on the sub-commentary. Okay, so that's how he has. He was a karma yogi before he became the disciple of Bhagavad Pada. He was a karma yogi. He was doing only his rituals and Shraddha, Tarpana, all those things, everything he used to do, Ekadasi Upavasam, Vrata Paripalanam, everything he was following very, very genuinely. And then he contributed this sloka, and this will always remind me, our great Paramacharya. Whenever I chant this sloka, I really recall his living. Sura Mandira Taru Mula Nivasa Shaya Bhutalam Ajinam Vasaha Sarva Parigraha Bhoga Tyagaha Kasya Sukam Na Karoti Viragaha. Viragaha, a detached person. Bairagi, we say. We are all familiar with the Bairagi Matam. Like Bairagi means people who are left their homes and do not have any attachment. They will all live in one place. So, our Paramacharya lived in this principle only. Okay, Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasa. He will either go and resort to a temple, dilapidated temple, or nobody visits the temple, there he will live. Tarumula Nivasa, or suddenly he will go and sit under the tree, any tree. And Shaya Bhutalam, for them the bed is only the Bhutalam, Mother Earth. And we have seen such a picture in the Sage of Kanchi. I will always remember that picture whenever I chant this Bhaja Govindam, this one of the Bhaja Govindam. Shaya Bhutalam, Ajinam Vasaha, and they will wear this, what we call the deer skin, as their clothes, and minimum clothes. And then what do? Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyaga. Sarva Parigraha. All the Parigrahas means like that, all possessions which are catching hold of us. Grahanam, like Grahanam means it is catching hold of us. Sarva Parigraha Bhoga. Bhoga means comforts. Tyaga. Completely left, totally detached. You do not have any connection. Given up all those bhogas. Okay. So, because for them, Ananda is their nature. And so he said, Kasya Sukham na karoti. Who will not enjoy this eternal bliss? If a person who has left all these things and he does not. See, when we go on a trip, means immediately pack suitcases, then what all is allowed in the airplane or the train, however much we can carry, we carry. We always carry our bags and baggages. That's a problem. So he says, to whom it will not give happiness? Viragaha means one who has contentment also. That vairagya has to be there. Vigataha ragaha. That is, the raga, the detachment is completely gone. He has given up all comforts. Blessed is such a soul. And who will not get the great bliss? That is a question Sureshwara. Because we know the equation is the possessions and peace can never go together. There is no link between those possessions and peace. Whereas possessions and physical comfort, there is a big link. They are totally attached. Okay, but possession and peace can never be linked in our lives. That is what we learn from this sloka. So, Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasaha. Either they will live in that mandiras, exactly what our Paramacharya did. And many of your parents or your great grandparents would have seen or seen with him or stayed with him. And so they would have explained the things, how he went. And we have luckily some black and white photographs where he is sleeping on a dilapidated ground. Many of us would have witnessed that. And then very minimal floor. The Mother Earth is their protector. There is no roof. They are not worried about anything because they have given up all attachment and comforts. The true sannyasi should be like this. And such a sannyasi, whether he is following the Grihastha Ashrama or Brahmacharya Ashrama or Vanaprastha Ashrama or Sannyasa Ashrama per se, such a person will always feel the eternal bliss. Okay, that is the next sloka is attributed to one of the disciples called Nityananda. And he also comes up with one has to find delight in the Brahman only. Okay, and then Yoga Rato va, Bhoga Rato va, Sangha Rato va, Sangha Vihinaha. Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam Nandati Eva. Okay, very good, beautiful slogan. Yoga Ratova, Bhoga Ratova, Sangha Ratova, Sangha Vihina. Okay. He was also like a very, not very much is known about Nityananda and all, so that we just see what he has given. One may have attached or very much into yoga, Ashtanga yoga, okay? Practicing for the betterment of their for their health, they will do that. Bhogarata, or some people will take interest only in the bhoga, enjoyment. I am born in this world to enjoy. Okay. Some people will have sangarata, they will have some attachment. Sangha means attachment. Rata. Sangha vihina, some of them are totally detached also. Okay. But yasya brahmani ramati, chittam ramati. whose our mind is always experiencing or enjoying the connection with Brahman in his Chittam. Okay, in his Chittam, he says Nandati, Nandati, Nandati. 3 times. 3 times Nandati. Okay, because he wanted to confirm that this will happen. That this will happen. So that's why Badnika, like Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam, that whenever we say that to the sannyasi, inviting sannyasi or Purna Gupam to sannyasi. Like na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, na tyage naiva. Okay, only tyaga. They are not connected with praja, dhanam, nothing. Na karma, no karma for them. So if that person experiences the association with Brahma, okay, then he will become Yasya Chittam Brahmani Ramate Tasya Nandati Tasya Nandati Nandati Nandati. He will always experience only that bliss, nothing else. Same words were repeated by our great Sadashiva Brahmendra in Manasa Sancharave Brahmani Manasa Sancharave, and in another Pibare Ramarasam Rasane. He's addressing the tongue. Even the mind will fail, the buddhi will fail, but the tongue can still chant the Nama. Okay, so Pibare Ramarasam from Sadashiva Brahmendra. So that is the sloka attributed to Nityananda. Then we will move on to the next disciple called Dhrida Bhakta. Okay, one who brought out this sloka. Only name we know as a Dhrida Bhakta, we don't know anything about his contribution as a writer or anything. So we will see the famous one of the slokas sung by Srimati Yammasamma in the Raga Nadanama Kriya. Bhagavad Gita Kinchit Adhita Ganga Jala Lava Kanika Pita Sakradapi Yena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tasya Yamena Chacha. Everything is given the smallest, the least, the dosage. You need not do everything every day, at least once. Okay, at least something. So we are given more choices here. You need not do every day. You need not do for the whole year. Okay, so you can discipline. You have to have a discipline to do this. Okay, so what it says, Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadita. If you have to read little or some slokas of Bhagavad Gita, there are beautiful slokas. Sutta Pragya Lakshanam in the 2nd chapter, and Bhagavan talks about the true bhaktas who are all dear to him in the Bhakti Yoga 12th chapter. And of course, every chapter has beautiful slokas. At least Sutta Pragya Lakshanam and Bhakti Yoga slokas, which are just 20 slokas, because he declares who are all dear to him. What are the qualifications of such a great bhakta? So he says that. So those slokas, at least kinchitam, they did not ask us to memorize or go through all the 720 slokas. Kinchitorti, he said. See, in the same way, Ganga Jala Lava Kanika, because Ganga hails Mandakini, but the heavenly Ganga hails from the feet of Bhagavan Vishnu. And then she flows through the jata of Shiva, and then she comes to the earth. So we can, the Punya Nadi, the Jiva Nadi, Punya Nadi, if you drink a lava means at least a drop of Ganga Jala. Pita, if you have drunk at least a drop of the Ganga Jala, Sakradapi Ena, because in Sanskritam, Asakrit means many times. Sakrit means at least once. Sakradapi, at least once. Ena, by whom? Murari Samarcha. If he has done the puja at least once in his life to Murari, even these people who have done smallest contribution for themselves, Yamena na charcha tasya kriyate. Such a person need not even argue with Yama, saying that I did all these things. You can count on my pujas, what all I did. Why are you taking me to your because Yama will not come near him at all. He knew Ajamana Charitra. Vishnu Bhattas, Vishnu soldiers will come to take the Atma to their Vishnu Loka. So that is what the minimum we have to do. Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dhita. So the raga itself is Nadarama Kriya, which is Rakti Raga, which is flowing. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Sakridapi Yena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tasya Yamena Charcha. Therefore, Bhaja Govindam. So everybody comes back to that Bhaja Govindam only. Okay, and then we have other slokas to continue. The next one is again Nityanatha, another disciple of Bhagavan Adi Sankara. He came up with this idea. Okay, this is what is going on. Okay, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam, Iha Samsare Bahudustare, Kripaya Apare, Pahi Murare. Okay, Pahi Murare, Apare Murare. Apare Murare means one who cannot be understood, incomprehensible Murari, enemy of demon Mura. Okay, so Pahi, Kripaya Pahi, please protect me with your mercy. I do not want to go through the same cycle, samsara, punarapi maranam, punarapi janam. Okay, so I don't want to go to that, through that. Punarapi janani jatadeshaya. So I think I'm reminded of the Kabir's poem, Chadariya. We call the song itself, the Chadariya, it compares the life like a weaving machine, like how the weavers do the things. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So Chadariya is there. And then that time he says, when kids are born, the kid cries, the child cries, why am I back in this world again? Punarapi Jananam. And then, but all the others, they are all distributing sweets. Happy news that the child is born. But the child knows, he cries. So he says, Punarapi Jananam, I'm back to the same chakra, samsara chakra. I'm going again, the same thing. Okay, so what am I going to do? Iha samsare bahudustare. Please protect me from this dustar, which is very, very, very difficult. Bahu, very difficult to cross this samsara, the ocean of samsara. So, kripaya, apare murare pahi. Hey, Bhagavan, who is apara, because you are what we call this, we are doing this sloka, apara karuna, similarly, apare murare. Hey, murare, who is apare. There is no measurement for you to show your mercy. So, with that mercy, with that kripa, please show me your mercy to get rid of this punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This is Nityanatha, we know only, I think. So, of course, we know this birth and the death, the samsara goes on and on. That's why there should not be any attachment. Okay, that is even Tirumular says in the Tirumandiram, Asai arumingal. Get rid of your desires. Ishanodu, even if you have attachment towards Bhagavan, you have to cut it out. Because if you have attachment to Bhagavan, when we are in the Saguna Upasana, it's okay. But when we become a Nirguna Upasaka, there is no need for you to have an attachment to Bhagavan. Ishanod ayinum asai arumi. That's what he says. So that is the sloka. And then murare pahi, because apare, we can even shoreless ocean. Okay, there is a shoreless ocean means what will be the situation. In that way, Bhagavan is described. Of course, the opening sloka of Narayana, Sandranandava Bodhatmakam Anupamitam Kaladeshavadhivyam Nirmuktam Nityamuktam Nigama Sata Sahasrena Nirbhatsyamanam. So Bhattatri describes him, Kala Desha, he is beyond time and space. So he is a nirmukta, nitya mukta, always free. He is not bothered by any karma or anything. Such a Bhagavan, if he shows his mercy, just once we can cross this ocean. Okay? Kripaya, Kripaya. So you have to show your mercy. So that's how the Nityanatha shows this sloka, which is tuned in Kapiragam by M.S. Subbaratnam, she sings. And then the next sloka is again Nityanatha again. It is attributed to Nityanatha again. Ratya Charpata. Okay. Ratya Charpata Virachita Kanthaha. Punya Punya Vivarjita Panthaha. Yogi Yoga Niyojita Chitto Ramate Balon Matta Vadeva. Okay. Ramate Balon Matta. This is the enlightened sannyasi. What he will do? Okay. He will say Punya Apunya Vivarjita Panthaha. He is completely devoid of or beyond Punya and Apunya. Punya Papa Atita, we can say. Punya, Apunya is Papa. Okay? Punya Papa Atita. Panthaha, the marga he knows very nice, very well. And then, what is he? How does he show that? He says, yes, I will, there is no shortage of Ratya Charpata Virachita Kantaha. Kantaha means rags. Kandai tuni, Kandayananam Kasagi Katas Bana, as Avaya says. All right. So Kantaha, the patched up cloth, ragaha. Okay. Karpata is a raga. Chakpata or Karpata is called. It's completely fallen on the road. Okay. And then it has, as long as it is taken away just from your body, freed from, okay, vice, what we call Darpunya and Apunya. And then what he does, yogi, yoga niyochita chitta. That yogi, he always enjoys the bliss, being associated with Bhagavan only. Ramate. Ramate, like a bala child who does not know, he is full of energy and joy because he has not tasted anything of the world, the duritas of the world. Okay, so he is happy all the time. And also Unmatta. Unmatta is also like a person who is completely out of his senses. And he also, the child also prattles, the Unmatta also prattles. So because they enjoy completely the joy, the bliss. So they don't know what is coming up. And they are not worried about it because they have even cast off, they rag what they were wearing. Okay. Even though there is no shortage for the clothing, but he does not even want to wear the rags, Kantaha. And he is going towards the Punya Vivarjita Pantha. There is no, the marga is completely bereft of Punya and Papa. And for the protection of his body, he wears small clothes, and even that he is ready to throw off on the road and just walk. He is completely reveling in the internal joy. Internal joy, because the madman and the bala, they always have smile. Okay, always have smile, and externally they are happy, and internally they are happy. The Unmatta or all these things, yoga, mind is ever fixed on yoga, the self-knowledge or Atmayana, the revels in himself. Okay, so he says all these things, the poverty, richness, or all these are all external things. Internally, if a person enjoys that bit, he will act like a what we call a Unmatta or a Bala who enjoys the life in a bereft of what we call the attachments. The attachments are like as I said, are Arumin, Asai Arumin. The next one is attributed to the disciple called Surendra. And he wants us to probe into who we are. Me are, as Ramana Maharishi said, right? So he says, Kastvam koham kutayataha ka me janani ko me tataha iti paribhavaya Sarvam asaram vishwam tyaktva swapna vicharam. Okay, swapna vichar, tyaktva swapna vichar. You have to know who you are first of all. Who am I? Who are you? Who am I? Kutaha ayata, from where did I come? Ka ma me janani, who is my mother? Ko me tataha, who is my father? Okay. So this body which is consisting of the bone, marrow, blood, okay, Bhaja, Samstha, and then flesh, blood, and all that thing, Mala, Mutra, all those things. It is only made up of some cells. Nama Rupa is there. But Sarvam Vishwam Asaram Vibhavam. The whole universe is constantly changing, unstable. So we have to find the ultimate, infinite Bhagavan. And he says, Swapna Vichar, these are all appearing as though it is all like coming in the dream. Okay, it is equal to the Swapna, dream. When you get up, the dream is gone. Whether it's a bad dream or a good dream, it's gone. So it appears everything solid and concrete during the dream. But once you wake up, it's completely so. We have to, the emotional vichara, we have to understand. And Swamiji always gives an example, the cardboard chair. Okay, chair is very beautifully created with a cardboard, nicely colored, wooden color, everything looks very strong with all the four legs and back. Everything is ready. But can you sit on it? Can you depend on it? Okay, so can you depend on it? No, that is not possible. So he says, Paribhavaya, you have to think that the entire Vishwam, the entire universe, Asaram. Asaram means there is no essence, there is no stability, there is no substantiality. Okay, it's completely changing, and there will not be anything which is called a body. So everything is gone by that. That is the sloka. Therefore, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. The next slokas, no, there is no mention of anyone. It's like an anonymous disciple. There is no name given to this. So we will just read. Twayi mayi cha anyatraiko Vishnuhu vyattam kupyasi mayi ahishnu bhava samachittaha sarvatra tvam vanchasi achirad yadi vishnutvam. Okay, so you have to understand, we have to understand the what we call, we are coming from the extension of the previous janma. Okay, the universe completely reduces without anything, like completely gone. So the Vishnu means, the word Vishnu in this sloka is the Bhagavan who has entered the entire universe. Even the entire Pralaya Kala, sage Markandeya was shown that Bhagavan is floating in the Vatapatra Shahi, like the Alale Krishna. He was just floating to say, I am the one who is going to start the next yuga, because I have swallowed everything, I have absorbed everything. I am the one who is going to show the next yuga. So he says, Twayi Mayi, you have to see in you and in me, or Anyatra, or in anywhere, Vishnu. Vishnu only lives everywhere. Because Mayi Ahishnu, because I am unable to tolerate. What does that tolerate? Sarvam kupyasi, vyartham kupyasi. One become angry for no reason, because we are still attached with the raga dvesha. With kopa, it's always there. So I become not able to tolerate my own intolerance builds up, and I become angry and impatient for no reason. Okay, so he says, if you really want Vanchasi, Achirat, if you want to become Vishnu, really, okay, what you should do is Samachittaha Bhava. You have to have that equanimity. You have to consider everyone in the same way. Okay? Sarvan natmanam pashya. Sarvasmin api atman, the non-duality. Where if you see yourself in everything, there won't be any anger. You cannot become angry at your own self. Yeah, sometimes it happens, but not all the time. And we cannot become what we call this impatient also, because if you happen to see your own self in the other person, in the other thing, everywhere if you see the same thing, and you can become Vishnu with the samachittaha, with the equanimity, sada, always, sarvatra, everywhere. Vanchasi, if you wish or if you desire, vanchasi, achiradya. Within a short time, you can attain this status. But you have to have that equanimity, samachittaha. We will move on to the next sloka, which is attributed again to an anonymous disciple only. But the ideas are good for us. That's what we are to take. We are, of course, we know the name of the disciple. Our namaskaras to him are unknown also. And anyata shishyaha api vayam namaskaram kurma. So he says, Shatrau mitre putre bandhau ma kuru yatnam vigraha sandhau sarvasmin api pashyan atmanam sarvatra utsruja beda ajnanam. Beda ajnanam becomes beda ajnanam. Okay, because we are all made up of raga dvesha, bundle, and it's all bank balance. Like bank balance, it's brought forward from several janmas collected. Okay, we like some people, we like some, we don't like some people, and we have different glasses for different people. Everything we do, and we do not realize that we live in the God's world. We have a group. Okay, we will say that Shatrau Mitraha. Mitraha means you have, even in an enemy, you should have that love as a Mitra. In the Mitra also, like a Putra, Bandha. The children, how you show your Vancha. Okay, and what they say, everything can, you have Shatru, you have Mitra, you have Putra, you have Bandhu, everybody is there. But what he says, Ma Kuru. Vigraha Sandau Yatnam Ma Kuru. Do not make any effort to win the love of all these people. Okay, whether you want to fight or love or anything, friend or foe or children, do not waste your efforts to have the attachment, to the love, to win the love of these people. Because each one that we're all given some purpose of coming to this world. Okay. And then he says, Sarvasmin api atmanam pashya. You have to know how to look your own self in the other, in the external world also. Okay. So that is very important. Then sarvatra, everywhere you have to see your own self. Utsruja, give up. What is Veda? Veda, the difference, the non-duality, which is Ajnanam, which is completely, it's our ignorance that we do not understand. Okay, so that you are like the sloka, I am nija paro veti, gananam lagu chetasa, right? So with a narrow mind only you can think about I am different and you are different and all those things. But as long as you see your own self everywhere, in everything, sarvasmin, sarvatra, both. Sarvasmin in all the things and sarvatra everywhere. Pashyati, pasyatyatmanam. If you look your own self in that, in everywhere, then it becomes utsruja, and you have to give up on that veda ajnana, duality. Attachment to the non-attachment, to the attachment, and all those attachments. So those you have to, the Advaita. Advaita has to be understood clearly, and then it says that we can live in this world. And of course, for that also, the Bhaja Govindam, Govindam. Because we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. So at least Nama Japa we will start, even though we are not yet ready for the other things to do in the school. Okay, at least this ready to do the Nama Japa. Moving on to the next sloka. It is attributed to one of the disciples, Bharati Vamsha. And here also talks about, these are all the slokas which are coming with the idea of Bhagavan Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Kamam, Krodham, Lobham, Moham, Tyaktva, Atmanam, Bhavaya Koham, Koham Pashyati, Soham, Atma Jnana Vihina Mudaha Ste, Pachyante, Naraka Nigudaha. Okay, Naraka Nigudaha. And Kamam, Krodham, Kamam, obsession, passion with what we call with an extroverted mind. I need to possess the external world, attachment with an external world. Kamam, Krodham, anger, which disturbs the mind. Lobham, greed. Everybody's wealth I should possess. Only I should be the richest person in the world. Moham, delusion. Okay? Delusion because expecting security from the outside objects. Collection of objects, then they think, oh, I'm protected in all the sides. And he says, Tyaktva, give up all these misdirected pursuits. Once we give up all, actually, the Shadripu, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mother, arrogance, Matsarya. Last one is jealousy. What did they keep in the hierarchy, the above? Jealousy has no cure at all in this whole universe. Ashwini Kumara, the divine physicians also cannot rectify that. Nobody can give any medication for that. Jealousy is the topmost Shadripu, one of the 6 enemies. Okay. So Kama, Krodha, 4 of them are here. Tyaktva, Atmanam. You have to look your own self. Bhavaya soham. You have to inquire into yourself and find out your own Atma. Okay. So aham, such a person, Atma Jnana Vihinaha Muda. If they do not do that vichara, Antakarana, looking into Antakarana, okay, if it is not done, Atma Jnana Vihinaha Muda. They will continue to be going through this life cycle of samsara because Atma Jnanam Vihina, they are not ready to understand. They are not going towards acquiring the Atma Jnana. Vihinaha, totally devoid of Atma Jnana. Mudaha, their fools. What do? Te pachyante naraka niguda. They will be roasted in sorrow. Pachyante, pach to cook. And that becomes the karmani prayoga. Passive voice of pach to cook, pachyante. They are being toasted in the naraka niguda, in that naraka. And if wherever they go, the 14 lokas, they will feel only the sorrow, nothing else. Because they have accumulated the kama, krodha, lobha, moha, everything. And there is no atma vichara. So they will be cooked in the naraka. That's what this sloka says. And this is also one of the next sloka. This sloka is one of the slokas chosen by Srimati Ammasamma, which is sung in the Mohara Ragam. And this sloka is attributed to one of the disciples called Sumati. Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dhyeyam Shripati Rupam Ajasram Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam Deyam Dina Janaya Chavi. Very simple things we could follow. These what he asks us is nothing. Okay, simple things only he is asking. And this also disciple we know only by the name. Not much is attributed to him. So some fundamental sadhanas he is asking us to do. These are all easy to practice. Even we can teach our own kids to do this. Okay, so it's a best advice to the entire humanity. Parayanam of the scriptures. Geyam Gita. sing the Bhagavad Gita or Vishnu Sahasranama, which was chanted by Sri Bhishmacharya to the questions of Dharmaputra when he was lying on the arrow bed. Okay. And Bhagavan himself listened to that. And we all know Paramacharya told about how it was given back by Shiva, who has recorded, because Spatikamala owned by Sahadeva has recorded everything, and Shiva gave him the power to bring it back. That was the story Paramacharya has said. So, Geyam Gita. Please chant some slokas of Gita. Whether you understand the meaning or not, start chanting it. It will automatically, sometime it will sink in, and we will try to inquire about that. And Vishnu Sahasranamam, Nama Sahasram, and then Sripati Rupam Ajastam, Saguna Upasana. Okay, think of Bhagavan. You can think of him as a beautiful young Krishna, Bala Krishna, okay, or Guruvayurappa. In any way you can think, Sripati, Vishnu Rupam, Dhyayam should be meditated upon. Upasana should be done. And then Chittam, take your mind to Sajjana Sangam, the Sadhu Sangam, Satsangam. These things we have to do with our own efforts. Nobody is going to guide us. The guidance is given through the words of great disciples of Bhagavan, Adi Sankara. But we have to do something. We have to make our effort. Yaha yatate, that's what Bhagavan says. He who makes effort, he will be able to reach me. Without making effort, nobody is going to offer anything to us. Sripati Rupam Ajasram. Ajasram means always. Ajasram, always. And Chittam, you have to train your mind to be in the Satsanga. And also, Dina Janaya Charita. And also share whatever you have with the Dina Jana. Dina Jana means those who deserve our help. Okay? Within our capacity, Yatha Shakti only will Shastram says. Yatha Shakti, whatever we can, we have to share with others. This has to be followed from the young age. Okay, so we will say that, yeah, the children cannot talk to strangers. Okay, but make the practice. When you are there to accompany them, ask them to give part with the little money or the clothes or the books, whatever they can, some pencils, pen, whatever they can for less fortunate people. So that dhanam has to be taught, and with them what you accumulate is not going to come. And we don't know whether this charity, what we are doing, is going to be helpful. It will be, but we cannot count on it. That also should be done with a nishkama, without attachment. So as a young child, the child is, when we train them, they will just give it away. They will say, yeah, give it to him so that he will be happy. They will do it because they don't have any thing. If I do this, what will I get? That question will not come. So far, our dharma is like that. But nowadays kids ask, if I do this, what will I get? Okay, that is the thing. So even if there is mistakes when you are chanting the slokas, initially Bhagavan will accept everything. But we are given like Talaye ni vadangu, Nake ni namam jollu, like that. Each angam is given a duty to perform. Okay, so that we have to do that. So this is sung in beautiful Mogana Raham. So the next one is attributed to again anonymous disciple. Sukata kriyate Rama bhogaha Paschat andha sharire rogaha Yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi munchapti papacharanam. Okay. So Sukataha kriyate. The weakness of our humanity is we are always looking for happiness, materialistic happiness. The sense pleasure is ultimate. Rama bhogaha. Sense pleasure. Rama here refers to Ramaha, means jnanis who revel in Bhagavan Ramaha. Okay. Of course, the Bhagavan Rama is Ramate iti asmin, one who gives delight in his company or in his looking. So here Rama Bhogaha means sensual pleasures. Sukataha kriya, happily he indulges himself, vacationing, go to North Pole, always looking for the status symbol, dedicating the whole life earning wealth and expending in big things and also showing the status symbol. That's only thing. But Paschat Adantaha, Paschat Adanta Sharire Roga. Suddenly, by eating all kinds of junk foods, diseases occupy our body. Okay? Diseases occupy our body. And once that comes, we cannot own anything, including our body. These are all our temporary gifts from Bhagavan. Whatever is given to us is a temporary gift. When he wants, he can take it away. Because he is the owner. So, Yadyapi loke maranam shai. Death is going to be the final for everyone. Tadapi papacharanam namunchati. But he still does not give up the adharmic way of living. The sinful path they are ready to take. And knowing once we are born, the final thing is, Sharanam is the final resort for everyone in this world is Maranam. Tadapi namunchati papacham. Even though he knew that one day he has to leave, he cannot take anything with him, still he continues to do the sinful part. I don't know why it is being done. These disciples are all really, really upset with the people. Why people are leaving even doing this. Okay, so that is the sloka number 18 according to that. Next we will go with Pranayamam Pratyaharam Nitya Nitya Viveka Vicharam Japya Sameta. Okay, Japya Sameta Samadhi Vidhanam Kurvavadhanam Magadavadhanam. Pranayama, very, very important. He talks about, Bhagavan talks about in detail in Bhagavad Gita. Pranayamam, regulating our breath. Discipline is one unique thing which will improve our physical health and mental health also. Deep breathe, pranayama. And then pratyaharam, holding it, avoid addiction. Okay? Avoid addiction or dependence on the finite things or material things. Nitya Nitya Viveka. We should know which is Nitya, which is eternal, which is Anitya, perishable, imperishable. Okay, that vicharam, that thought should always be in our mind. And Samadhi Vidhanam, absorption of the mantra. And then holding on to that mantra. Any nama can be taken to be a japyam. Japyam means japa. Many mantra can be taken for japa. And absorption in the mantra is the samadhi, vidhanam. And kurva avadhanam, alertness and committed to these disciplines, which will be the great asset. Okay, and this has to be performed with great care. Mahad avadhanam. And you have to control the mind. It is turbulent. We all know when we sit on meditation or even when we close our eyes, all kinds of thoughts flood our brain. Because of the external influences, we don't know where to stop, where to begin. So he says, remain unaffected, completely remain unaffected to the external forces. And we have to know what is Nitya and Anitya. And chant the Japyam, chant the name of God. And then perform this with Kurva Avadhanam. Kurva Avadhanam, Magad Avadhanam. You have to perform this with great commitment, integrity, so that the mind will become integrated, a committed mind, or about a chiseled mind, an enlightened mind, enlightened being. So that is the sloka of the next sloka. And then, of course, no one can thrive in this world without the right guru. So the sloka says, Guru Charanam Bhuja. This is also composed by some what we call anonymous disciple only. Necessity of a spiritual guide. That is what is indicated in this sloka. Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhakta Samsarad Achirat Bhava Mukta Sendriya Manasa Manasa Niyamat Deham Drakshyasi Nija Hridayastam Devam. Okay. You have to offer your Pada Puja to the Guru, the guidance of the Guru. Follow the guidance of the Guru. One whose Guru, one's feet is like a Guru Charana Ambuja. They are like the lotus feet of your Guru. Following him, okay, and then Samsara Achirat Mukta. That person will become completely relieved from the samsara because he has held the feet of Guru. Whatever he shows, he will go in that path. And then the Guru will always check the mind, and then he will sense whether the disciple is a fit disciple or not. So then Sendriya Manasa, discipline your senses. Sa Indriya Manasa Niyama. We have to control our Indriya and mind. Okay, the mastery over the Indriyas. Jitendriyam, we call Anjaneya Bhagavan. Anjaneya Murti, Jitendriyam, one who has won over his senses. And the mind also. These are the instruments which will help us to keep our mind in check. Okay, so that is when you do this, when you have gone to the lotus feet of your Guru, and you will be released from the samsara. That is certain. Once you know to touch the feet of the Guru. And then through your disciplined mind and the control of the sense organs and the mind, you will be able to see Nija Hridayastam Devam Drakshasi. You will be able to see the Shuddha Chitta Chaitanyam, which is just sitting inside Nija Hridaya, the indwelling of your own heart. Okay? The Bhagavan is sitting as a Sakshi Bhuta Bhagavan. I always say that. Sakshi Bhuta, he is witnessing everything. So he will sit here and then you will be able to see him. You will be able to see him. Sakshi Chaitanya, which is sitting in your own heart and mind. So that's Guru guidance of the Guru and self-management, both are important to attain the moksha. Okay? That is involved in this. And we come to the last sloka. Muda Kashchana Vaya Karano Dukrin Karanadhyayana Durinaha Srimad Shankara Bhagavat Sishyehi Bodhita Asi Chodita Karanaha Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Vadamate Nama Smaranat Anyamupayam Nahi Pashyamo Bhavabhi Tarane. That's how the sloka ends. Like Mudaha Kashchana Mudaha. Some Acharya has written some old grammarian who was dwelling in Dhatu Pata, okay, repeatedly understanding. Durina, very dedicatedly doing the Adhyayana of the Vyakarana. And they are saying Sankara and his disciples, we are Shodhita Karanaha, we are trying to, what we call, become free of the delusion. Shodhana, you have to completely remove all the mala there and then become very clear. Remove all your delusions. And what is the only nama smaranam? And there is anya upayam nasti. Okay, there is no other path to do the sadhana. Just do the Bhaja Govindam Bhaja. What for what? Bhavabdhi Tarane. Bhava Samsara. Abdhi is the ocean. The Amboho Dhiyante iti. Rambu Diyanti, where the collection of water stays. The ocean of samsara, to cross that Bhavabdi Taranam, Namasmaranam is the only thing. And we have been listening to many slokas and many things like even what Tyagaraja Swami says, Rama Namamu Janma Rakshaka Mantra. Okay, so Rama Namamu Janma Rakshaka Mantra. And then this is the only, so from the Muda Mate, the person can become a Mukta Mate. Rama Namamu Janma Rakshaka Mantram, which is said by Tyagaraja Swami. Rama Mantrava Japiso by Purandaradasa. Of course, Kamban in his says, Immaye Ramam Endru Irandu Eluthinal Nanmayum Selvamum Nalum Nalkume Tinmayum Pavamum Sidaindu Theyume Selvamum Semmanamum Maranamum Indri Thirume Immaye Raman Endru Irandu Eluthinal. Swami, our Paramacharya, has also quoted this in Devatin Kuran. And then that Bhagavan Nama Bodhendra was the one who initiated in the Bhakti Marga. He himself became Rama because chanting of the Nama, he was called Bhagavan Nama Bodhendra. He is one of our Acharyas of Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham. And Annamacharya also sings Chalada Harinama Saukyam Amrutamu Namaku Chalada Harinama. So everyone, whoever is a true devotee, would have sung the praise of Govinda or Vishnu or Rama or Shiva, any Ishta Devata you can choose, plus practice. And one of the Alvars said, even if I'm not, like the Ati Bhishana Katubhashana Krita Tadana Yamashasana Nivasam, the Shiva Shankara Ashtakam composed by Adi Sankara, he says, I don't know what will happen at that time. So I have to start practicing my tongue right now, so that Andreikku Indre Solli Vaitena Arangathammane, one was the Alvars implore Ranganatha Swami, Ranganatha Perumal in the Srirangam. Even if I fail, even if my tongue does not say, please take this account, whatever I'm doing now, whatever I'm chanting now, Andreikku Indre. Today itself I'm chanting your names 100 times, 1,000 times, 40 times. Please take this into account. If Angam, everything goes off. Like at one point, even Bhajanga Subramanya Bhujanga was Kritantasya Duteshu Chandeshu Kopa Nagachindi Vinditi Mam Tarjayam. What will happen? You have to come and protect. But did we go to him in the first place? That's a question we have to ask. If at all we go towards Kartikeya or Muruga, it is impossible for him to come when we call at the beck and call of our interest. He is not going to come unless you show interest that he will come to protect us, and we have to do the Bhaja Govindam all the time. So with this, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. That is the singing of the 10 slokas chosen from Shankara Bhagavad composition and the great Sishyas of the Sishya Parampara of Adi Sankara Bhagavad. So at least start chanting the Namam and teach the generations to come. Just teach them, just tell them to chant. It is not going to hurt them. Just tell them to chant. You see what will happen. We don't know what is going to happen, but something will happen. We keep on chanting. That is how we have to allure them to do the Nama Japa. Dhanyavadaha for this wonderful opportunity to share the great composition of Srimad Adi Sankara Bhagavad and his Sishyas in the text called Moha Mudgaram, otherwise Bhaja Govindam. Wish you all a happy Bhadrapada Purnima and also the other functions which are going to come. And we will have to be in Satsangam all the time. I wish you all the same, as I wish myself that I should always be in Satsangam like this. Namaste, Dhanyavadaha.
Namaste. Namaste, Margadamji. It's been an extreme blessing for us, for all of us, to have done a Shravanam of your very wonderful discourse. on Adi Sankara's Bhaja Govindam over the last two sessions, especially given today was a very auspicious Purnami, Purnamasya and a Guruvaram. It is as though the Gurus are doing the Bodhanam, are beaming the knowledge on us through your lecture. I hope that we'll be able to absorb a small amount of it and put that to practice in our daily lives and benefit from it. And hope with our Acharya's grace and blessings of our elders, we continue to maintain this kind of a satsangam that brings us all together, that brings us into the fold of teachers like you who are able to disseminate the knowledge. What a wonderful way that you have adopted in taking these slokas, all of the slokas, and doing the padachedam where necessary, highlighting the meanings, also highlighting the connections between other teachings from various other saints and acharyas and connecting them all together. But again, bottom line, as you very rightly summarized, is that being able to do the Navasankirtanam is what will guide us towards the ultimate mukti that we all are praying for. With the blessings of our acharyas, I hope we can continue to enjoy such satsangams. Again, on behalf of KKSF, our sincere kritagnyatvam to you for doing this wonderful preparation and explaining to us in such a very lucid, easy manner over the last two sessions. Dhanyavadaha. Also, like to thank all of our viewers in the audience who have made it possible here, both for this session, these two sessions, as well as our other sessions. Please continue to join us and support us through these satsangams. Also, I'd like to thank all our volunteers who make these events possible. Once again, on behalf of KKSF, let us pray for continued satsangam, and hopefully they will guide us towards path of an illuminated path. Jai Jai Shankara, Hare Hare Shankara. Namaskaram.